All right. So in the first part of this week, we were talking about rational and irrational. Okay. The official definition for rational are any number that you can turn into a fraction. Any number that you can turn into a fraction. So this counts negative numbers, whole numbers, integers, decimal points, fractions, any of those. Now, irrational has a very small group. One of them is pi. The other one are square roots that are not perfect squares. Now, what you're looking at above here are all the perfect squares. So square root of 9, the answer to the square root of 9 is really just 3, because 3 times 3 makes 9. So that has an actual solution. If it doesn't have a solution, like the square root of 10 or the square root of 11, that would be considered irrational. So weird square roots, I'll put square root in 11. And then over here, it would be decimals that go on forever, but also never repeat. Now, repeat is different than having a pattern. So here, this would be irrational. 3.517261 ... meaning it's going on forever. Now, I cannot describe this number to someone out loud because because it never repeats, I'll actually be talking for the rest of my life. Rational would be something that repeats, something like 3.81818181. That would be rational because I could tell somebody, okay, it's 3.81 and then 81 repeats actually forever. So I have described the number in its entirety, okay? Especially if it's ... going on forever. Now, if the decimal point just ends like 5.928, well, there you go, I can say it, 5.928. So if you can describe a number in its entirety to somebody, it's rational. If you cannot, then it is irrational. If I write 3.223344 ... I also cannot describe this number to someone because I honestly don't know what happens later on. This is a pattern, so this confuses some people. This is still considered irrational. Okay? So a pattern or no pattern at all, and it just keeps on going forever, so no repetition, okay? Then these are irrational. If they do repeat, they are rational. These are irrational, and these are rational. Okay, so in this section, you'll just be telling me is something rational or irrational. So if I write something like, let me scoot it up a little bit. So if I write 3 square root of 16 square root of 20 pi 9 over 3 and negative 2.1. So can I describe this to somebody? Yeah, the answer is 3. So that's rational. The square root of 16 has an answer. The answer is 4. Can I describe 4 to somebody? Yes. So this is rational. The square root of 20 goes on forever and never repeats because it has no answer. So this is irrational. Pi goes on forever and also never repeats a pattern. Never repeats the same numbers over and over again. So this is also irrational. 9 over 3. This is a fraction. It's rational. This is negative 2.1. I can describe the number in its entirety, negative 2.1. This is also rational. So now the next section we're going to be talking about is estimating. So you'll need to know these to estimate properly. So the square root of 20 is in between which two numbers? It's in between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. So those are perfect squares. The square root of 16 and the square root of 25. So these have actual answers. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5, because 5 times 5 makes 25, and 4 times 4 makes 16. Now that means that the square root of 20 is in between these two, which means the answer has to be between 4 and 5. So it's going to be 4 point something. I just don't know what it is. Now, seeing as though it's 4 away from here, and 5 away from here, okay? A good estimate would be something in the middle range. So something like 4.4 would be a good guess, 4.5 or 4.6. Now, seeing as though it is slightly leaning to the left, I'm going to try 4.4 because 4.4 is closer to 4, okay? It's only one number difference. So if this isn't close enough for me, I would know that the answer is 4.5. So we are now going to multiply 4.4 times 4.4. That's going to be 16. That's going to be 17. That's going to be 0, 6, 7, 1. That's going to be 6, 3, 1, 8, 9, and 1. So it is 19.36. So if I rounded this 19.36, I would actually get 19. So 4.5 is actually going to be the better answer, and I'll show you. 4.5 times 4.5 is going to equal 25 here. That's going to make 20, 22. That's going to make 20. 2 stays up there. 16, 18. That's going to make 5, 2, 0, 1, 2. 20.25. So 4.5 rounds to 20. So this is my best estimate. So what's the best estimate for the square root of 20? It's actually going to be 4.5. Okay, now let's do another one. The square root of 38. The square root of 38 is in between the square root of 36 and the square root of 49. So it's between these two. So I'm going to write down those. The square root of 36 and the square root of 39. So I know that this answer here is in between these two answers. So the answer for this one, actually not 39. Why did I write 39? Guys, get it together. 39 and 36 and 49. Okay, so the answer for this one is 6. The answer for that one is 7. So I know that the answer is in between 6 and 7 for the square root of 38. So I know it's going to be 6 point something. Okay, now it is 11 away from 49, and it is actually only 2 away from 36. So now I know it should be on the lower end, really close to 6. So good guesses would be 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. So it's not right next to it, so I'm going to actually go with 6.2. 6.2 is going to be my solid guess, so I'm going to try it. 6.2 times 6.2, that's going to make 4. 2 times 6, that's going to make 12. That's going to make 12 again. I don't know why I did that. 36 and 1, 37. That's going to be 4, 4, 8, 3. So this would actually round. This would actually round to 38.44. It would actually round to 38. So there is our answer. We got it on the first try. So our guess is 6.2 is our best estimate for the square root of 38. Now I'm going to check the square root of 63. The square root of 63 is in between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. So this would be 7 and 8. So I know that the answer falls in between 7 and 8. So I know it's 7 point something. Now these two are one number away. These two are way off. Okay? It's 14 away. So 14 away and 1 away. So it's really close to the top end. So 7.7, 7.8, or 7.9. Now it is one number underneath. So I'm just going to go with a 7.9 and see if it works. So 7.9 times 7.9, that's going to give me 81. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 8. So 63 plus 8 is going to be 71. And then we have 7 times 9, that's going to be 63. 49 plus 6, that's 55. That's going to be 1, 4, 2, 6, 62.41. So, seeing as though I can't go any higher, I have to go with 6 point, even though this will round to 62, I literally cannot go any higher. So, we're going to stick with 7.9 because if I go any higher, then I'm going to 8, and I know for a fact it is less than 8. So our best guess is going to have to stay as 7.9. And that is it. Good luck.